Hey everyone, welcome to the Dealer Club Pricing Game. We will run through real cars with real guesses that actually sold on Dealer Club. For this particular, episode, we'll call it every single car that you'll see ran and sold with no reserve. So it's true market value. Um, we'll get started, see who's really got the eye. One other rule is that we will allow no tools. It's all tribal knowledge, and we'll kind of kick it off from there. So we'll pull up a car that sold through Dealer Club, give you a photo, year, make, model, any condition, grade, a note about the car. You get 60 seconds to discuss amongst each other, and the goal is to place the bid and final bid and get as close as you can to what it sold for on Dealer Club. So are we still doing the phone a friend if you want?
You can pretend.
Sure. So today we are joined by Jonathan Singo Jr. He's a platform buyer at Performance Auto Network. Also, repeat Jon Frederick, CEO of Freddie Media. And our special guest today is Doug Horner, and AKA Benzes and Bowties. So thank you all for coming on the show. And I think if you're ready, I'm ready to get started.
Let's do it.
Perfect. So we'll pull up the first car here. And the first car is 2021 Mercedes CLA 250 all-wheel drive, 56K on the clock, condition grade A. I looked at over the CR. There's really basically not a mark on it. The notes were it's an AMG line premium package, and there are a few curved wheels.
Doug, what does the premium package give us? You don't have to include me in, but what does that give me?
Premium package gives you like satellite radio, ambient lighting, upgraded sound system at that time for 2021. So it gives you, garage door pairing, just some of the basic stuff that you think would be maybe standard on that car. But the big thing here is really the AMG line. That totally changes the appearance of the car. We know just from years of being in the business that if I have two CLAs or any Mercedes-Benz next to each other and one has AMG line and the other does not, the AMG line car will always sell first and for a lot more money.
In your opinion, how much money does the AMG and the premium package add to this as if it was just off the shelf?
The premium package is kind of a given. I would say 90% of CLAs have that, so I wouldn't say that really adds a lot of value. But the AMG line, going because it's a 2021, it might be $1,500 to $2,000 bonus, but on certain cars it could be as much as a $5,000 bonus.
John, is this a ideal retail car for you?
It's not in my wheelhouse, but he's got a point about the AMG line. When the car's got eyes, that's really what people are after. So that's a big ad for a car over a base model.
Let's be rude and make Doug kick it off. Doug, how much is this worth?
Really quick. I do want to go over the condition grade. A means nothing's perfect, but this is pretty close. B is above average. C is an average condition for the year and the miles. And then D is below average, and we don't have any F grades, which is kind of just as is.
Now, is that an actual picture of the car? Was it red?
Yep, that's actually the car.
Okay. All right. So red hurts it a little bit. That makes this a little more challenging. But I'm going to go with 16,250 because of the condition.
I will. Do you want me to go second, or John, you want to go?
Yeah, I'll take it. This thing hit me a little bit higher. Again, Mercedes not really my wheelhouse, but this thing got me like 21 grand when I first saw what it was.
Nice. I'm going to go 20 flat. I have no sense of it. I would guess a retail of like 26.9. What do you think, Doug?
Yeah, this is probably a low to mid 20s retail. You guys could be right. It could be closer to 20, but keep in mind that a 2021 CLA with this probably had an original MSRP of around 44, 45 at that point in time. So yeah, I'm docking it a little bit because it's red, which doesn't have a ton of resale value compared to black, white, gray.
All right, let's lock them in.
All right. So it's sold for 22.2.
Oh, well done.
You're on the board.
Nice.
So this went no reserve. What does that mean, John?
So no reserve just means there was no cap on the amount this car would sell for. So Final bid took it home.
Nice.
Yep, high bidder takes it home and starts at 0 and just goes from there.
What's
So,
the benefit of that, Joe Guerra? Like, why is that good?
I mean, benefit is buyers know it's for sale, right? You know, the highest bid takes it home, and it's really, really an advantage to get a frenzy going, which again could be why it sold for maybe more than Doug was thinking. You know, guys start bidding, they know it's for sale, they know that their next bid might win it, and it can run it up a little bit and get the seller a little bit more money. So
nice. Congrats, John. Well done.
All right, what do we got next? So this one is going to throw you for a loop, Doug, a little bit. But pretend some of these are trades on someone that just came into a little bit of money at your dealership. So, 2014 Impreza Premium Hatch, 114, and condition grade B, so slightly above average, brand new tires, and it's one owner car.
Guys, what do you think of this? Like, I would say retail with John, possibly, not retail with Doug.
Yeah, I look at 100 of these a day.
Yeah, I bet. So I'll let you go first then, John.
Yeah, John, you have to go. You have to go first.
Yeah, if I don't get this one, there's no hope for me. But like this thing gets me at probably right about let's say $5,500.
Ooh, I was going to be way heavy then.
Yeah, it's got 114K, so you're going to have to probably account for some reconditioning, being that it's a Subaru. You know, not bad cars, but maybe a little more than the average Honda or Toyota. But still, really desirable resale unit. Still financeable miles. 14. It's only 11 years old.
All right, I'm going to add arbitrarily $800 to that for the sake of it having new tires. So, $6,300.
Okay. Yeah, my initial thought was $6,000, so I feel like we're all right in that wheelhouse. But I'm gonna call it 5850.
All right, and keep in mind at any point you can ask any questions. I know George asked a couple questions last week to get more context on. I think it was the Raptor because there were some packages. I mean, this is a pretty basic car, but it sold for.
I think John's gonna win.
8250.
Hey, let's go!
Wow,
Big money.
It pulled some serious money, yeah. So there you go, John. You're on the board.
Thank you.
So with that, you got it. So I think what we'll do is whoever got the point this round, they have to guess first next round.
Good call.
So we'll do that. So the next one that's sold is another unique one. I tried to be a little bit picky this time. So 2012 Hyundai Elantra GLS with only 66,000 miles, condition grade B, so slightly above average, one owner, quote, incredibly nice shape, and also, quote, tall tires.
I love the vernacular, tall tires. It just sounds so like phony baloney, but I'm all in. I think it's a retail car. I think that people come in looking for $79, $99 retail all day. And then it's a matter of like, how comfortable are you with it? And I would go 3,500. This is no reserve, right? I was going to say 3, but then you said no reserve. So probably got another nickel. So 3,500.
Good guess. Good guess. Doug, John, anybody want to go next? What do you think about the color? Does it help, hurt it, and irrelevant because of the miles?
I'm very colorblind. I have no idea what color it is.
Probably irrelevant given the age, the brand, and the miles. I think that somebody that is looking to buy that car is looking for good, reliable transportation, and they're going to be more interested in how many miles does it have and what's its overall condition versus does it have an appearance package or what color is it. This one's tricky because that's way below average miles for the year, significantly. So I could see this one bringing some surprising money. And I'm going to say $6,000 on this one.
Way to go, Doug.
Speaking of fun vernacular, we like to call these cars lumpy, low miles per model year. That's like the biggest driving factor of value. So these are the kinds of cars that will consistently surprise you at auction. Cars that are nice, older, and very low miles per model year. So I'm hot on this one, like Doug is. Maybe not as hot, but it hit me at like $5,500.
I have one consideration on this car. So it was before the mandated backup camera, and there's probably, do you think that hurts it on insurance when they go through the box and like or it doesn't matter at all?
I think the car's so inexpensive that insurance probably is going to be lower anyway, because if you have to total this car out, what's it really going to cost you? but that I do see where you're going with that.
Doug, is this car would not be allowed anywhere near Mercedes-Benz North Homestead.
This one we probably would keep because of the miles.
Let's go. Yeah. It's like in Caddyshack when the caddy pool guys are let in for 10 minutes.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
I'd take 100 of these.
Yeah, these are easy to sell. Very easy to sell.
I love cars like this.
Yeah.
Well, let's see what it's sold for, because you don't love it enough. I'll tell you that.
It's gonna be $8,000, isn't it?
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot.
Okay.
So John,
good job, Jon Singo.
By $100, and so it's also not Price is Right rules. So if you go over, if you're still closest, that's fine.
Got it. Nicely done, John.
We got to invite on people that are less good at it. Let's make it look.
All right, next one up is, let's see, 2017 1500 LT V8 Z71. Again, kind of low clock, 84. It's got a cap. You can kind of see it in the picture on the back. Nice shape. It is condition grade B. So there's a little unique thing in the notes here. So it is a one owner, good tread, but there was rust on the rockers and the cab corners, and they had cab corner covers and rocker covers just kind of covering it rather than completely redoing it. So, but it was well done.
It's so state specific. You could sell this car in Delaware, but it would never pass Maryland state inspection or Virginia state inspection. What would rust do to this car where you guys are from in Ohio?
I think that a little bit of rust is probably expected on a truck that starts to get up in this age. I don't think that it would prevent us from selling it, but probably not one that we would keep just for that reason. But yeah, the trucks always are tricky. They surprise me sometimes with their resale value at this age.
Older trucks sell. Like I would love to be able to sell this thing. John, what do you think?
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head about it being regional too, because people down south just don't want it. But up here, you have dealers that go after this stuff because they're a little bit cheaper and they can throw, rocker plastic cladding on them and some fender flares, and you're good to go.
Right.
It's got really good miles. So, I think for a northern truck, as long as the frame's in good shape, you just noted the rust in the rockers, it's not really that big of a deal.
All right. What do you think it retails for, John? What are you backing into? I have a number that I'm backing into.
It's funny. This is a crew cab, right? Crew cab V8 4x.
Yep. And I mean, obviously black. It's got some eyes to it. It's nothing crazy, but
yeah, the Z71 package helps a little bit. It's the shocks and the badge, but it looks a little better. I don't know. Retail, you're probably sitting around the high 20s, maybe 27, 28. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna say wholesale. It's sold for let's say 24 grand.
All right, locked in.
You or me, Doug. You're the boss.
Yeah. This is I'm flying blind here, truly. Pickup trucks always confound me. So I think that I'm probably a little bit lower than that. I'm going to say maybe 22.5.
So I felt like it's a $29,999 idea when I go to retail it. My brother used to sell these at Tyson Chevy back in the day. And in honor of Chris Frederick, I'll go 24.5.
All right. Everybody is a little heavy, but go ahead. 18.6. So Doug, you're on board.
So not that my initial thought before John gave his number was like 17.5. And then I got talked into going way above that because I was like, clearly I just don't understand the market on used pickup trucks at all. But that does make a little bit more sense to me, just based on, I mean, it is, almost a 9-year-old truck at this point.
Tell us about instinct versus, looking through AccuTrade. John, do you use AccuTrade?
Not specifically, no.
Doug, you do. Like, tell us about your instinct on the vehicle versus kind of like trusting the numbers.
Yeah, if it's look, I always trust the numbers. I know I don't ever rely on my instinct. I do find that for certain vehicles, my instinct is usually pretty spot on. And I think that's just because after you've seen them and done it so many times, it's I'd say less instinct and more just kind of like muscle memory. But I always trust the numbers because I've seen too many times in the past where my instinct told me one thing and the number said something totally different, and we missed an opportunity to buy a car or retail a car. And so it's just, I try to make this data-driven math equation, not a let me try to outsmart everybody. You know,
Doug's 15 years deep into doing this. John, how long have you done it?
Buying now, I mean, I've been in the industry almost 25 years. So buying, let's say 15.
Strong. Great career.
All right. We'll move on to the next one. Totally different end of the spectrum. But at 18, BMW X1 xDrive 28i with 95K, condition grade C, so average condition, minor scratches and dings. I took a look at the CR. It really just have some minor scratches, dings, nothing too crazy. Runs and drives great, and it has a panel roof.
Doug, what do you think? Would you retail it?
It really depends on what that condition truly was. It's possible. The comment section of my videos loves to point out how luxury cars don't hold value when you appraise something like this, because the number is going to be scary relative to some of the other things that we've talked about. But a 2018 X1, that would have been maybe a $40,000 car back then. And with those kind of miles, it might be average miles for the year, but 95,000 miles on a luxury car are not 95,000 miles on a Subaru or a Toyota.
Mm-hmm.
So, and if it was average condition, this might have been, let's call it a $12,000 car.
All right. Good
That
guess.
was the number I had in my mind. I'm going to dock it, though. I'm going to go to 11.
Right,
Yeah, I was a little on the other side. I see the wheels on there, potentially maybe a sport package. It doesn't say there in the thing, but we got a panel roof, and I know you got to take some consideration here because the miles and potential, recon on a luxury car. But the thing got to me at 13 grand.
It does attract a good buyer, though. Like, it's financeable. 18's good, and then it's under 100, and somebody's going to be enthused about a luxury vehicle.
Yeah, a lot of times people that are looking at a car like this might be stretching themselves. They might be able to afford the payment, but not necessarily the maintenance on the car. Or occasionally you might just get somebody that buys it for their kid. They pay cash for it. But
tell us what you think the repair order cost would be going through the shop, because this one could hurt you.
Yeah, if we put it through our shop and with all the recommendations that came back, I wouldn't be surprised if it was $5,000 to $6,000.
Oh, shots fired at your fixed ops director.
Well, they're very thorough. They're very thorough.
Hey, I was gonna say the same thing. So we're using the wheelhouse for sure. 5 or 6 grand is reality.
Yeah.
Doug, I'm here to mend fences with you and the fixed ops director if you ever need.
Oh no, look, we're all friends. I love them, but they if it's a recommendation, they will be sure to recommend it to us.
That's the best talent and gown relationship management inside the four walls is the desk versus the fixed ops guy.
Yeah, let's see what it did here.
Let's go.
Jon Frederick.
Nice.
10-8.
Nice.
All right, we'll move on to the next one. Again, a little bit different. But Jon Singo, you were touting the Toyotas, so we'll see about this one.
I've only ever worked at Toyota stores. Can you tell me if it's four-wheel drive or some of that Southern nonsense where they sell two-wheel drive 4Runners?
Four-wheel drive. The notes, so it does have undercarriage surface rust, like more than just minor. It's not rotted, but
yeah,
it's rusty. There's a little scale there. Mm-hmm. No structural in the notes. It does have a third row.
Yeah.
Condition grade B, above average otherwise than the surface rust, and 107 on the clock.
People would love this car. And you said four-wheel drive, right?
Four-wheel drive, leather.
SR5 Premium's roof leather nav. So I like the car. Every one of them had rust. Were you guys familiar with the Toyota frame recalls on the Tundra and the Tacoma? I don't recall if it went all the way to the 4Runner, but it's the same frame.
Not these.
Yeah. Man, I do like it. This was the all-time Jon Frederick, 16-year-old guy, would buy this car for his first car. In fact, that was my first car, 2003 4Runner. So I would call this thing, these are the ones that amaze you. These are the ones that like still hang high when they shouldn't. So
this was the literally entire basis of that post that I did. I mean, the post I talked about RAV4s because those are hot right now.
Yeah.
But every 4Runner I've ever appraised in my life, I just get so wound up because I'm like, it's very clear that certain buyers do not consider new and they only look at used, because otherwise, how could you explain what this car is brought at auction?
I used to preach the residual values when I'd sell these, that 3-year 36 would land this thing at 71% of MSRP, and Tacoma was like at 74%. And I think the only other vehicle that would hang around that nature was a Wrangler, oddly enough.
Yeah.
So I could be wrong. It sucks that I have to go first right now. 16.5. All
right, good guess. Yeah, this is probably, what would you say? I mean, I was actually at a Toyota dealership when these were, so I would say this is a 40K sticker, somewhere in that range.
Yeah, I sold one to my sister, this exact car, 2014 SR5 Premium 4-wheel drive, $39,999.
So I love these things. I own one. And this particular vehicle was probably the biggest spike I saw in appreciation this year through all the tariff and typical tax time madness. What 4Runners were selling for a few months ago and still kind of are, it simply doesn't make sense.
Right.
Now this one's a little unique because it's like 11 years old. We've got over 100K, which generally doesn't hurt your Japanese product. Specifically 4Runners, but the rust is kind of a question mark. If it's bad enough, like he was saying, it is going to stop some people from bidding on it, because you're going to eliminate anyone south of me pretty much from bidding on it at all. And these things can get really crusty, not just underneath, but tailgate latches, stuff like that. You're looking at replacing deck lids. They can be problematic when they are rusty.
That's
when
just
clean.
Part of the fun, John.
What's that?
That's just part of the fun.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, trying to get rusty bolts off. But yeah, when these are clean, sky's the limit. And they will always surprise you at auction. This one with some rust. I do like that it's got a third too. That is not standard. Third row is usually a pretty big deal on a 4Runner. You generally do not see it. So this one could be the whole package, being a little discounted versus a new one too. Because you're right, it was probably mid-40s new. The new ones are a bit more, probably closer to 50, which is another reason these things took a bit of a price spike. This thing, when I first saw it, before you started talking about the rust, I'm like, man, this thing probably did low 20s. Thinking about the rust, it really could go either way, but I'm just going to put it at 20 grand.
All right, good guess. Doug, what are you thinking?
Yeah, my initial thought was about 20 grand as well, but I'm going to go ahead and say 19.
This was the best value car because you got the leather in the roof, and then the Limited pulled you into a full-time 4-wheel drive. So it was just like radically more expensive. And this was the best car.
Yeah, the Limited pulled you with the 20-inch wheels, the whole thing. So
yeah.
Now, if you told me that this goes for 22 grand, I wouldn't be surprised at all. I feel like I'm low, and again, they're incomprehensible. These 4Runners, they really
Third
are.
row is important. You're right, John. I missed that. That's
the best thing is no one uses it. It's useless. But people just want to have it. Like they want it to be there.
It's just like a warm sense of security. It's a security blanket that no child has ever sat in, let alone an adult.
Yeah, it's going to spend 95% of its life flat.
Yeah, you don't think it's like 26, 25 grand retail car?
Could be
mid high 20s, yeah.
All right, well, it sold for $20,009.
Yeah.
Again.
I thought I was kind of split in the middle, thinking it could have gone higher, 22, 23, but I think the rust probably held this one back.
Unbelievable, truly.
I bought a 2013 and 2014, exactly like that. And George O'Connor was on here last time, sold it to me, one key, exactly outfitted like this, 25 grand, 26 grand. And that was 10 years ago, 11 years ago.
Yeah, these things are wild. So it was kind of a crapshoot on these, but we'll go to the next one. This one's very unique. So 13 Ram 1500 Express.
Yep.
And it's a quad cab. So 58,000 miles, condition grade B. The notes were no Hemi tick or manifold tick, because it's common on these. Scratches on the hood. I looked, they're notable. You know, it's going to take some probably paintwork to get it. And small rust on rockers and front fenders. So about, when I looked at it, probably a little bigger than $50 is what I would say. So nothing too crazy, but it's there.
Jon, tell us anything about this. It's like definitely a work truck. It's going to be cheap. What do you think?
Yeah, I love this truck. It's like I said, we got a lumpy truck. You got super low miles per year. I love the Express package because it is a base model truck, so you're saving a bunch of money, and it's got good looking wheels on it. These have always been really good sellers. You get a lot of truck, a lot of eye for your money. You still got a 4x crew cab with a V8. So these are great, and they have gotten trucks have been harder to buy, especially nice ones. And again, we got a situation where he said small rust on rockers and front fenders. So to me, this thing doing a ton of money is the difference between that little bit of rust and not. Without seeing it, hard to tell. But the 58,000 miles, of course, is the irreplaceable part, and that's a big deal on something like this. So, man, I really don't know, but I'm just going to throw out $22,000. No, it sounds like a lot, but super low miles.
All right, Doug.
Yeah, I was thinking right around 20 grand again, which sounds insane to me, but those low, I mean, that mileage is so low for the year, especially for a truck, that I think somebody sees that, gets emotional about it, and they pay money that is hard to wrap your head around, really. So I'm going to say, yeah, 20,800.
Yeah, very low miles. It's like almost 5,000 a year is kind of what it did. So I don't really care about the scratch thing, because somebody's going to look at this thing and they're going to use it for a purpose. They're going to tow a boat. They're going to, put it at their vacation house or their farm or something like that, in my opinion. Or it's going to go to a guy that works like a trades job. This would be a killer carpenter truck. But then I'm so out of touch with the market, and I keep getting surprised by how expensive these go for. And I've been cheap on all the old ones. So I'll be mean and I'll go 22.5.
All right. Well, everyone is a little heavy on this one, but it sold for 14.
Whoa.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah. So, Doug, you're on the board again, and you might be with the next one too. So let me see. What's the next one?
I don't even feel good about that win. We were way off. I think we talked ourselves.
I know.
Jon, when you applaud me, if I got him $1 above, I thought 500 still was respectful.
I bet everyone at Dealer Club wishes I was bidding on that one.
Yeah. I was gonna say you gotta swipe that one.
Oh, this is crazy. This is a great looking car.
Nice pick, because Doug DeMuro just recently did a whole piece talking about these cars specifically, the first generation AMG GTs. And
Dustin Collins would know this. The car father would know this one.
Yeah. He was trying to figure out where does the market bottom out on these, because it's a really good looking car. They've fallen a long way, but it's a lot of car for the money, and really good miles. But again, everything, again, I get a lot of flack for this in the videos. 32,000 miles might not seem like a lot, but for a car like this, that's probably about average, maybe a little low for the year, but it's not, we're not talking about a 4Runner here where you'd expect to have 100,000 miles plus on a car of that age. So this one, black, serviced and frontline ready.
Black, and two other things to note. I know there's a couple of things you can get, but this thing was off the front line, serviced and frontline ready, and it has like that peanut butter interior leather.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's desirable, right? People like that.
Yeah. It's a good, I mean, it might not be everyone's first choice on this car. Actually, you have a lot of people that just would prefer the black interior or maybe a red interior. I like the saddle, but it's a little, you've got a sports car that kind of has a luxury interior. Not everybody loves that. So if you're telling me it was serviced and frontline ready, that means that it sat at a dealership for a long time and they were unable to move it.
Right.
Right. So that's always a little bit interesting. But I feel like this car probably went for about 40 grand.
Ooh, all right. What do we got?
I'll go second. No clue. I know my parents bought one of these one time and it had that suspension that sat crooked, and I remember how much it was to fix it, and it was crazy. We just sold the car. So I think we sold it and got a center console boat instead. We had a lot more fun with that. I like the miles. I think it's a really cool car. Doug, what do you think it retails at? You think it's like a 55 retail car or like a 50, low 50s?
Yeah, 50-ish, somewhere in that neighborhood.
And you said 40. I'll go 42 out of respect that we don't have to do anything to it. I'll revise 41.
All right, John, you're up.
Yeah, so I do not know a whole lot about these, to be completely honest, but I do like what
Real quick, Doug, what was the sticker on this new? Just out of curiosity.
On a GTS, this would have been about 125, somewhere in that neighborhood.
Whew. I think a 2016 limited 4Runner with the same model miles would do the same money.
It would.
Very well could, yeah, very well could. I really do like Doug's point, though, about this potentially being an age unit sitting on someone's lot and going out, which is, to me, kind of a question mark. So I'm looking at luxury cars. It's not just about age, miles, and everything else, but you want to know what it looks like on the inside and how well it has worn. Because even though everything might be serviced and frontline ready, if you got maybe some worn buttons, worn leather, excessive scratches, stuff like that, that just makes the vehicle overall look a little more maybe older or not as nice as some other ones that doesn't stand as tall. It could could be an aging problem because of that. I personally like the saddle, the brown leather, but I know that's not a crowd pleaser. A lot of people like to go double black on these if they can. I'm just gonna try to go with the flow here with this one because I really don't know a value, but let's say 42.5.
You got good revenge, John.
So this one is actual. I'm surprised you didn't notice it, John. Maybe Doug, but this was George's car.
Oh, Laba's car?
Yeah, and he ran it. It's actually on. It's on social right now. So I was nervous to put it in, but it did.
It did a lot.
A whopping 62.
Ooh, man.
I remember the story on this. I had the inside track. Joe, you got to tip your hat or blink twice next time.
I got to be impartial.
Joe.
But
yeah, that's good for. So I probably didn't give it enough credit for being an S. I didn't think that offhand that would give it that much of a bump, but yeah, that's big money for that car. So I'm happy to see it that well.
John has won the game, and we have one left. But Doug, I vote we go golf rules and we press, and we go a game within a game. So I owe John a DoorDash, and then we'll press on the last one for either a break even or we owe him two.
Double or nothing.
All right, on to the next one. Something you might see, Doug. So as a trade-in, so 17 Mercedes GLE 350 all-wheel drive, just under 100. Condition grade B, so a little above average. Super clean panel roof, heated, cooled cup holders. I don't know if that tips you off to a package because it does not tip me off, but heated seats and nav.
Yeah, the heated and cooled cup holders would have been part of like the Premium 2 package back then. It doesn't look so. No driver assistance on this one.
Not that I'm aware of.
Not that you can tell. Yeah, this again, boy, red. I can see that it's got the 20-inch wheels, which was an upgrade, right? They came standard with 19s. That 5-spoke design is a 20-inch wheel. The red again is not the most valuable color, but it looks to be good equipment overall. And yeah. Boy, this one, I'm going to say this is probably 18 grand, this car.
All right. Good guess.
John, you're the lead. I'm going to let you do
it. I'm with Doug. Like the color on this thing just kills it for me. If this thing was black or white or silver even, way more desirable. And I know the miles is tough because you're backing up against a potential recon bomb with 100K on a GLE. But the color really, really hurts this thing for me. still under 100K, which is good, just under 100K. And it looks like it's got good gear. And if it is as clean, super clean, it's still going to be desirable. But the amount of eyeballs on it, you're going to have less just because of the color. This thing hits me at like 16 grand.
I was going to go less than Doug too, but I think you went so low that I'm afraid to go lower than you. But my initial thought was it's like a low 20s retail car. And I think it's like a 22 grand retail car. And I'll just arbitrarily take some off of that. And I don't want to get stuck in between because I'm thinking 17. So I'm going to go 16.5. All
right.
Well, pardon me, not 16.5. That's the dumbest thing I've ever said.
I was going to say, you just said you didn't want to get stuck in between.
15.5. That's what I didn't want to do.
All right. Well, that was a good choice because it sold for 14 grand.
That was my initial gut. I have 14 written here on the piece of paper. But I don't know. Yeah. Then I got peer pressure among you guys. Is that what it's like when you're bidding? You just feel like you just lose your gut instincks?
I think some people do.
Yeah, there's a lot of science about that actually.
Yeah, I was ready to scream 14 as soon as it popped up. And then you guys went higher and I, became stupid.
I think what's challenging about this game is that when you're very wrong about some of the cars that you've previously talked about, you start to overthink the next ones as they come up. That
I just won terribly.
Yeah, right. That GT really threw us. We were way off with the Ram, so it's like we've in a couple of cases been really, really high, really, really low. But you're right, John. It's a $20,000-ish retail car. If it wasn't red, it probably is closer to that 17, 18 mark. But red is just not. You've got significantly fewer eyeballs on it when it goes for resale.
Well done, John. I did expect you to win. Doug, you really carried the team on the old Mercedes game. And Joe,
well, you guys did really well
on Dealer Club this month. You got any things going on?
Yeah, I mean, our cars integration is live. I don't know if we talked about that last time. We will be at NADA next week, so we'll be there for some demos and everything like that. But overall, we're plugging away. Oh, I like the graphic. Look at all the sold cars around there from the game. But yeah, I intentionally picked ones that were a little bit harder, than just your run-of-the-mill cars. Some low mileage stuff. So I think overall everybody did pretty good. But to your point, Doug, yeah, it's hard because everybody was low in the first couple. And they were like, whoa, it did that. And then I think everybody overcompensated for the back half a little bit, except the GT. The GT, I was watching that Doug's post too. And, they're talking about these things selling retail in the mid to upper 30s with high miles potentially, those GTs.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. It's, I think when you're appraising a car just one off and you don't have all these reference points around you, you might be a little bit more locked in. But sometimes you never know. I believe that sometimes dealers go on these auctions and they buy cars for themselves or for a friend, not necessarily to resell. And so sometimes they will pay money that is almost in line with retail. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because if I'm a dealer and I want a fun car for the summer and I see a nice low mile Mercedes GTS come across, I might go in there and pay somewhere between wholesale and retail to have it, for myself versus to buy it to resell it, if that makes sense.
I'm super ashamed of my 2014 4Runner guess. I went 16.5 and I went for 20 something. That was right up my alley when I was buying cars. But
right.
Who should be the next guest? Can we twist Saliba's arm and get him on here? I mean, John, you got to hang around. You have a Ken Jennings run going on. Are there any legendary car guys that we're missing?
Well, I bet Joe would do it. I work with Joe and I know he would enjoy doing something like this.
Nice. John, how about you? Any suggestions? Who's the all-time best buyer?
Oh man. I got a coworker too that's probably got a leg up or two on me that I maybe could twist their arm.
Nice. If there's any dealers on LinkedIn that are following this, shoot me a DM if you want to be on the show and steal some DoorDash from me.
Perfect. Well, thank you guys so much for joining. I I thought it was a lot of fun. I'll try and pick maybe some easier ones next time, but
I liked it. Good mix.
No, that was
a
good.
mix. There's literally everything from a couple $1,000 car all the way, we've got 6-figure cars. So I try to stay away from those because those can get tough. But
nice.
Thanks for having me, Joe.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Hey, thanks, guys. It was fun.